رويني حبا وعشقا ينقلب نبض حياتي، ليكون الليل صمتا أنت فيه ذاتي، تائها من غير درب قاصدا نيل الثريا، واسقني منك عطاء كي تقر النفس فيا. أنت ما زلت خيالا في هواه القلب ذائم، كل ليل منك طيف لمع بين الكواكب. لا تعاملني غريبا، صورة منك أتتني، لا تدر عينيك عني، منك رسم خلف جفني. لا تعاملني غريبا، صورة منك أتتني، لا تدر عينيك عني، منك رسم خلف جفني، منك رسم خلف جفني. أنت دوما كنت جنبي، بك كالأحلام ليلي، وانتهت بقاع عمري وأنا ديني كغزلي. أنت دوما لي كظلي وأنا دوما وحيد، أن تذكرني بنفسي علني صرت السعيد. أنت ما زلت خيالا في هواه القلب ذائم، كل ليل منك طيف لمع بين الكواكب. لا تعاملني غريبا، صورة منك أتتني، لا تدر عينيك عني، منك رسم خلف جفني. لا تعاملني غريبا، صورة منك أتتني، لا تدر عينيك عني، منك رسم خلف جفني، منك رسم خلف جفني.
Before the presence of God, we all humans are equal. We do not get that pair of wings to soar above others unless virtues cover our souls and minds and attitudes. Turning into butterfly is not realized but after much suffering and banning of vices and forbidden desires. Turning into a pure gold is not achieved unless it is put into a melting fire that dissolves all the dirt and impurity. Becoming true eyes of God to distinguish the good from the bad. Becoming the hand of God to help the helpless. To become the manifestation of God, we need to be pulled out from what is unhuman. To serve the purpose of God in this world, to bring prosperity and love to all humanity. Assalamu alaikum. Never underestimate the power of rumors. They can destroy entire families, entire nations, entire people. As you see sometimes on news, on TV, fake news can, change the direction of the policy of country. So rumors are really important and they are really dangerous to the reputation of people and of nations. That's why, reputations are the only capital most of the people have. They are ready to sacrifice everything only to maintain their reputation, because it is really precious, yet at the same time, reputation is so vulnerable. We should be really careful how to maintain our reputation and others, because I have seen, because of some ridiculous, jokes or rumors, so many families have evaporated into oblivion. Why rumors spread so easily? There are so many reasons. First, because people love to learn new things. You know, Unexpected things needle our curiosity. We should be really careful how we speak about people, because untrue things, unexpected things might transform into some rumors that will never vanish. The other, reason why rumors spread so easily, because the more you hear something, the more you will, believe it. And the more something lasts, the more you will again take it as a fact. So, before spreading news, we should be sure whether it is something lie or a truth, whether it is some fact or a rumor. When we look back into history, we see that Abu Talib, the father of Imam Ali, he suffered so much from the power of the destruction of rumors. As you know, there are some ideological groups, religious groups, that tend to promote the name of Abu Talib as he died, infidel. He didn't believe in Islam or in the Prophet, despite that there are so many poems and narrations from him that he do announce his Islam and his love for the Prophet. So let's learn from the experience of Abu Talib not to harm others, not to destroy their reputation.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إلهي أنت أوسع فضلا وأعظم حلما من أن تقايسني بعملي أو أن تستزلني بخطيئتي. وما أنا يا سيدي وما خطري، هبني بفضلك يا سيدي وتصدق علي بعفوك، وجللني بسترك، واعف عن توبيخي بكرم وجهك. سيدي أنا الصغير الذي ربيته، وأنا الجاهل الذي علمته، وأنا الضال الذي هديته، وأنا الوضيع الذي رفعته، وأنا الخائف الذي آمنته، والجائع الذي أشبعته، والعطشان الذي أرويته، والعار الذي كسوته، والفقير الذي أغنيته، والضعيف الذي قويته، والذليل الذي أعززته، والسقيم الذي شفيته والسائل الذي أعطيته والمذنب الذي سترته والخاطئ الذي أقلته وأنا القليل الذي كثرته والمستضعف الذي نصرته وأنا الطريد الذي آويته أنا يا رب الذي لم أستحيك في الخلاء ولم أراقبك في الملاء أنا صاحب الدواهي العظمى أنا الذي على سيده اجترى أنا الذي عصيت جبار السماء أنا الذي أعطيت على معاصي الجليل الرشا أنا الذي حين بشرت بها خرجت إليها أسعى أنا الذي أمهلتني فما ارعويت وسترت علي فما استحييت وعملت بالمعاصي فتعديت وأسقطتني من عينك فما باليت فبحلمك أمهلتني وبسترك سترتني حتى كأنك أغفلتني ومن عقوبات المعاصي جنبتني حتى كأنك استحييتني.
In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful, all praise is only Allah's, Lord of the worlds. May His peace and blessings be upon the Master of all prophets and apostles, Muhammad, and His pure, immaculate Ahlul Bayt, especially Imam of Age. May Allah hasten His glad advent. Salam to you, my dear brothers and sisters. As you know, in the previous session, we talked about the validity of taqleed and following our legists and mujtahideen. But in the previous session, we just talked about the validity of taqleed and its existence in the age of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and in the age of his infallible successors. And we said that this is something documented, and based on authentic ahadith, it's something which is reported. But today we're going to talk about the affliction and catastrophe which has been started from centuries ago, especially the one which we Muslims and all believers, and especially believers, community and society is suffering from. I mean the occultation and major occultation and absence of Imam of the time, Al-Mahdi, may God hasten his glad advent. You know, when our Imams, and especially when the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, when the infallibles were alive, people used to consult them, refer to them for solving their problems, for asking them questions, not just their problems, even also for asking about Islamic studies to learn from them. But the thing which is really a catastrophe these days is that after the major occultation of Imam Zaman, Imam of age, there is no infallible who can who we can ask our questions from. We can solve our problems. We can learn Islamic studies. This is a question maybe posed by all Muslims. What can we do? You know, if we believe that our imams, and especially Imam of age, was an infallible, if wasn't infallible, we have to believe in this. We have to trust him. We have to believe in this, that he was he was concerning about us. This was a great concern for him. That what should we do after his major and great occultation? He, peace be upon him, gave us best guidelines that were not given to Muslims before him. Those guidelines are mentioned in different ahadith, which the most important one is this one, that which is known as Maqbula Umar ibn al-Handala, the hadith which is accepted by all legists and ulamas. And that is that Imam of age, Al-Mahdi, Imam of the worlds, peace be upon him, says, وَأَمَّا الْحَوَادِثُ الْوَاقِعَةُ فَارْجِعُوا فِيهَا إِلَى رُوَاةِ حَدِيثِنَا فَإِنَّهُمْ حُجَّتِي عَلَيْكُمْ وَأَنَا حُجَّةُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهِمْ. This is the guideline that Imam of the worlds, Al-Mahdi, peace be upon him, gave the humanity, not just to the believers, to those who are following themselves. No, this is the best guideline for all the humanity. And that affliction I told you, that catastrophe and disaster I told you, will be solved by exactly doing upon this great hadith. It means, and in the coming happenings, consult to the narrators of our ahadith. To whom? To the narrators of our ahadith. Verily, they are my proof to you, and I am proof of Allah to them. So as you see again, the validity of a legist, of a marja, of a mujtahid, is when he narrates for us the ahadith of the venerable Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and also the ahadith of the Prophet's successors. May Allah's best regards be upon them. But the deepest thing which became a reason for refraining from taqlid these days, especially in also believing communities, that is, how can I know that the decree my legist is declaring is exactly based on the truth? This is right. This is true. This is a must for us to research, to be careful, to go towards those who are who we're sure about, who we know that their decrees, their opinions are just derived and gotten from the authentic ahadith of Ahlul Bayt, peace be upon them all. This is something true. But if we have found someone like this, it's a must for us to consult him, to ask him for our questions, for knowing decrees of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why Imam Hassan Askari, the father of the Imam of age, may Allah hasten his glad advent, says, فَأَمَّا مَنْ كَانَ مِنَ الْفُقَهَاءِ سَائِنًا لِنَفْسِهِ حَافِظًا لِدِينِهِ مُخَالِفًا لِهَوَاهِ مُطِيعًا لِأَمْرِ مَوْلَهِ فَلِلْعَوَامِ أَنْ يُقَلِّدُوهُ. But as for the one who was from the high priests, fuqahas, controlling of his self, protective of his religion, opposed to his personal desires, obedient to the orders of his master, it means imams. So it is for the generality that he should be referred to. The last question is that, based on some ahadith, we think that, and also based on some rumors, we think that if we consult a marja, a mujtahid, we just have to hear the hadith and the words of the ahadith from his mouth. This is not true, because based on other authentic ahadith, Imam Sadiq, peace be upon him, said, one of the companions went to him and asked him about this question. Imam Sadiq, peace be upon him, said, it's no problem. It's no problem that if you have preserved its meaning, so there is no problem that you just tell the others, the generality of humanity, the human beings, based on based on the meaning of that hadith. It's no problem even if you have changed the words. In consequence, the only way of learning Islamic teachings and knowing Allah's decrees in ahkams for the generality of people, especially in these days, is following a just, trusted legist. Don't forget that. Thank you. Goodbye.
The sky has worn on a purple garment, and the black trees have torn the sky apart. Each bare branch rose its hand towards the sky, reciting the words of glorification to God. And the trees, full of blessings, have prostrated and kneeled down, full of love. And the lamp moving towards God, towards the sky. The more the lamp rises, the more it weakens, while telling itself, the more the souls rise, the more diminished they must become, dissolved in the light of God. We always hear the myth that we cannot see the future. Of course, it's a myth. We all can see the future. We can anticipate the future. We can see our tomorrow. Why shouldn't we? For example, you want to have, a trip to another city, to another town. You should, look into the map, see the weather, what to, take with yourself, and other things. You should prepare yourself for that journey. The same applies to tomorrow, to the future. You should see the future. You should know the future, and to prepare yourself for that day. Of course, there is a strategy. You can easily see the future and anticipate future at least for 80%. It works for me at least, so much in so many cases. The equipments you need are really easy, and you can get it, as fast as you believe, as you can. The first thing you need is to have a quiet place. Another thing is to have, a peaceful mind. So you are going to have, for example, a very important lifetime interview in a company, and you need to do a perfect interview with the boss to get hired. That's why you should prepare yourself for tomorrow. You should see the tomorrow, and the way you greet that guy, the way you smile, the way you sit. You should anticipate those moments. So you should sit in that quiet room, close your eyes, and only imagine what you are going to do tomorrow. So it really works. You will have a very satisfying result and consequence. Tomorrow is really important. We all have been waiting for that day, for tomorrow, and it will not be repeated again. So we should make the utmost, the ultimate use of each moment of tomorrow. We should see tomorrow. We should anticipate tomorrow.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم زيني فيه بالستر والعفاف واسترني فيه بلباس القنوع والكفاف واحملني فيه على العدل والإنصاف وآمني فيه من كل ما أخاف بعصمتك يا عصمة الخائفين.
We, as the followers of Ahlul Bayt, we have a great heritage narrated from them, a heritage full of peace, beauty, and love. That heritage is the result of the sacrifice of all the Imams. It is the result of the sacrifice of Imam Ali in the mosque of Kufa, the result of the sacrifice of Imam al-Hussein in Karbala, the result of the sacrifice of other Imams and unlimited scholars throughout history. The heritage of Ahlul Bayt is the cross on which unlimited Shias have been crucified. It is a fruit which was quenched with blood and iron. The problem is that this heritage cannot speak for itself. What you see out there on TV, on platforms, everywhere, is only a very small amount of what has been narrated from Ahlul Bayt. There are unlimited numbers of hadith from Ahlul Bayt buried in unread books in the libraries. We should, expose them to the world. We should show them to the world. As we read in Ziyarat al-Jam'ah that Kalamukum Nur, your words are light. It means that no darkness can survive beside and in the presence of the words of Ahlul Bayt. If only the words of Ahlul Bayt can create this uproar in the world, can create peace and respect and tolerance for others, what about the Imam himself, Imam al-Mahdi? What do you think? What will happen when he comes and debut an advent among us? How would the face of the world be in his presence? What do you think? If only the words of the Imam can create that uproar, what about the presence of the Imam? His sense, his voice, his presence among us when he stands on the platform and makes his speech. What do you think? What will happen? We are waiting for that moment, for the advent of the Imam. So, let's make the world a better place for the presence of Imam al-Mahdi, because we deserve the presence of Imam al-Mahdi. Let's start from here and now, from the holy month of Ramadan. Goodbye.